This is the How to Run Your Video Marketing on EOS webinar. And basically, two presumptions here as we start to kick things off. We presume that you know what traction is, you're aware of EOS, and hopefully that you're also aware of YouTube. Not that you're a deep practitioner or an expert, but basically this training is going to be heavily centered in traction and in YouTube, because traction is the best method for growing a small business, organizing your data, getting your people in the right seats, casting a vivid vision, all this other good stuff that we know helps small businesses run effectively. And then YouTube is basically just that for video marketing. Yes, you can post reels to Instagram. Yes, you can post to TikTok. Yes, there's all these other places where video is valid, but there is no platform as good as YouTube for video marketing, period, bar none. End of discussion. If you want to debate me, there'll be time for that at the end. But that's really where we're going to center this talk. And I can speak to the other platforms, but that's where we're going to center the training here today. Real quickly, why should you even care or want to pay any attention to what we have to say as Piper on this topic? We're having an enormous year on YouTube. We've more than doubled our subscribers. We have more than 5x the total views on our channel. That 1.1 million views was a lifetime as of the first of this year. And just, in less than a full year, we've more than 5x that number. So we are clicking on all cylinders. We have a vivid vision set. We are firing on all cylinders. We have stuff really working, and we want to share what we figured out in conjunction with actually getting views. Some could argue those are vanity metrics. We also have an all-time record for inbound leads, and we're having our best year ever from a revenue perspective. So there is a tie here between the videos getting viewed and the business growing. And if you don't know what Piper's business is, so we have three different solutions that we bring to bear on that front. One is full production, where we will shoot everything there for you. Two is where we will take your footage that you have shot and edit it on your behalf. And the third is coaching, a new product that we just launched here in the last 2 months. Where we have members in our video guild, where they're hopping on a live call each week, kind of like this one, getting some value. Also in a private community where they can share notes, share learnings, and get access to our entire library of trainings and other resources to accelerate their video marketing. Enormously positive reviews on all fronts. We are the #1 Pittsburgh video production company for Google reviews. And we have some great reviews already on that coaching program, despite it being much younger. And those are the three ways that we help you solve the problem of video. So today we're going to talk about video marketing. We're really going to hit on the big three pillars of EOS, which is your vision, your people, and your data. We're also going to talk a little bit about how we run our meetings. But as always, if you aren't running this for your whole business, I would not recommend just starting discreetly, minutely with video marketing. I would get it going for your business first, and then bring it down to a practical application like video marketing for your marketing content team. And that's what this talk is all about today. Our vision is to impact 100,000 small business owners and marketing leaders with compelling business strategy videos. And we want to make compelling videos that have a high click-through rate, a strong average view duration, and considerable engagement. As we do this, as everyone does this, in order to get clarity on your vision for what your content should be, this is our model for deciding what to actually make videos about. You have a main content category, you have a minor category and another minor category. All of these should be things that you are very comfortable speaking about. Personally, I am not in any way, shape, or form an engineer. I have a bunch of friends that are engineers. I wouldn't make civil engineering content. I wouldn't make rocket science content because that is way above my pay grade. But if you want me to talk about business strategy, I can do that till the cows come home. Similarly, geopolitics and economics. And then my tangential third topic isn't necessarily right there with a specific strategic business objective, but in an effort, and video is amazing at humanizing, at giving you this comprehensive full picture of someone, not just the words that they're saying, but as those of us who've been trained in sales know, most communication is nonverbal. It's the tone, it's the body language, it's the eye contact with which you convey yourself. We also think about the topics that we cover with video as being reflective of showing that whole person. And I'm a family man. I've got 2 kiddos. I'm happily married. And so in addition to business and economics video essays, in addition to short form vertical videos, that's what SVVs are in the top on the right-hand side there about business strategy. I'm also tweeting about being a dad and how I can't get my toddler to eat anything or my newborn to sleep, right? So that hopefully creates a more comprehensive picture of me and allows you, it's probably easier to be a more authentic person on camera when you're talking about that stuff that is deeply resonant and relevant to you. The other point here, before we get on to the next slide, that you want to think of the actual deliverables. What's coming next? So can your audience anticipate what is coming next with your content? Or is it like a, roll of the dice? We have no idea what the next piece of content that would be coming from you from a video standpoint would be. That's something to really, cast into your vision. They can anticipate the next piece of content that would be coming from you. A lot of people stop where we just went, and they don't actually take the time to identify their ideal audience member. And their ideal audience member, ideally, is someone who represents your best client or your dream client, and would be the exact type of person that if, maybe there's 1, 2, 3 of these people doing business with you, if that went to 10 or 20 or 50, you would just be like a pig in mud. You'd be having the absolute best time building your business, engaging, providing service, providing products to your customers. And so what we want to do is actually reverse engineer what that ideal audience member, who that person is, what their main content need is, maybe what a secondary supporting content desire need is. And then you can see how this aligns to that third content bubble and something more authentic. What is a value system or a personal interest that they have? Maybe they're really into sport. Maybe they're a Steelers fan. Maybe they're super into a specific niche interest. That could be what that third element is, or it could just simply be family values. That's something that we look for with our content. The primary person that's coming to us, they want to grow their business. They're looking for answers for how to grow, how to go further, how to go faster, how to go further with great people. Supporting that, they are systems level thinkers. They are not thinking exclusively about the minutia, about the micro tactics, about the stuff. They want to see the big sweeping picture. They're polymath. They want to connect all the dots and figure out the best path forward. And we have just found that the best clients that we have all share family values, which is super aligned for me, as you can tell from the content that I prefer to make. And I really think this is a valuable exercise to do in and of itself. Map out your ideal audience member. And then what I actually do is I put pictures of that person on this image. And these are two, stupendous past clients of ours that we love to do business with in every single facet. Their videos are fun to make. They pay on time. They're reliable. They write us good reviews. They refer us business. Like, they check every single box. And if I can make every piece of content as something that be resonant to them, I'm going to be in a really, really good place. As we move to our people, we know that EOS wants to be aware. We want to be aware of the core values and the content, the capabilities that we need. And in our case, these are content capabilities. Our core values, Piper: sharp focus, true kindness, 360 degrees of integrity. That sharp focus, if you read books like Essentialism, are about knowing what the thing is, not letting yourself get lost in every, odds and ends path that you could go down. Having that ability to stay sharply focused for an extended period of time is a superpower. It differentiates you from the pack. We look for people that are truly kind. They embody radical candor. They're willing to tell you the hard truth that is net good for you because they love you. They're able to do it in a compassionate, sincere, kind way. But they're not just going to be superficially nice. We do not like superficial niceness at Piper. And then finally, 360 degrees of integrity. We abide by integrity, not just meaning integrity to our clients. That's the baseline. If you can't have integrity to your clients, we're not going to get anywhere. Doing what you say you're going to do, delivering on your promises, hitting your deadlines. But we also need to have integrity to the teammates that work with us and to ourselves. And it actually starts with yourself, right? If you say, we're coming up on New Year's, if your New Year's resolution is, I'm going to do this exercise routine, or I'm going to change this thing about my diet, and you don't keep that promise to yourself, it becomes harder to keep promises to other people. The first person you need to keep your promises to is yourself, and everything else reverberates out from that. You're the one living with yourself 24/7, 365. These content capabilities, we need to be able to edit our videos. We need to be able to write the content and hopefully research some of the content that we are producing. We need to manage all that content, make sure that it goes up on all the appropriate platforms at the appropriate times. And you need a graphic designer, not just for the thumbnails, but for all the different motion graphics elements. We used to roll video editing and graphic design into one role. And we have, as we gain more resources, but also identified areas of opportunity, realized that splitting those two roles into specialists is much more effective. Classic example, to use an overused business phrase, of 1 + 1 = 3. Here is how our team is set up. You have your creator, your visionary, and this is not only in the macro business sense, but in the content sense. This could be a different visionary potentially than your overall business visionary. But this is someone who's, what content do we need to say? What stories do we need to tell? What does the voice need to sound like? That person who understands the core content engine. You have that person sitting at the top of your hierarchy. And then in EOS parlance, it'd be your integrator. In this case, it would be your project manager, who is just keeping all the trains running on time. You're going to have multiple videos happening in parallel. I can talk about a little bit more about that later. And then underneath them, you have a writer, researcher, an editor, and a designer answering to the project manager, making sure that everything is getting done at the appropriate times. No one is a bottleneck to one another. And then we need to figure out how to get the right people in the right seat. So I've hired dozens of video editors. I don't even know if I probably don't even shoot 50% on finding the right ones, but I've taken my lumps and learned some lessons along the way. I've also had the privilege of making bad hires in script writing, in design, and in project management. So I can talk a little bit about the GWC for each of those roles, and that's what we're going to do here. So wants it capacity to do it. First, you need that for your project/content manager. This is someone that needs to be highly organized. They need to be able to track, did this go up on all of the different platforms that they had to go up on? They need to be fluent in the nuances of different platforms. YouTube Shorts cut off at 60 seconds. TikTok will allow you to put up the same vertical video to be up to 3 minutes long. There are nuances to all these different platforms. You need your content manager to know that stuff so they can catch it while it's still in the process of being edited, and not have a video get approved and then when you go to upload it, have some sort of malfunction, some issue. They need to know that and nip stuff in the bud early so that your process is smoother, streamlined, less re-edits, less rework. They also need to have strong interpersonal skills. This is the person that is coaxing creatives to do stuff on time. If I said nothing else, you would say, man, that does not sound like a fun job, does not sound like a job that is easy to get accomplished. Someone who can get creatives to get work done on time has really strong interpersonal skills. That actually probably should have been number one, but highly organized is also super important. Bonus points if you're motivational. Bonus points if you can get someone to have a little fire in the belly to make the best piece of creative work that they ever made. You have that in addition to this other stuff. You have found an excellent content manager/project manager for your video marketing. Next, you get it once it capacity to do it for your writer/researcher. So we see this as a unified role where fundamentally the final writing will be approved and finalized by your visionary creator. So this is not someone who is expected to deliver a pristine, best-selling book level piece of writing. They are primarily driving the 80, 85, 90% of the content that can then be refined, passed over, tightened by that visionary in its final stage. But we all know how hard it is to face a blank page. And we actually like our writer researcher to be AI powered. We actually put this has now become a number one value. Whatever timelines were baseline expected for our writer researcher before the whole ChatGPT generative AI revolution, their production timeline dropped. It was cut in half by ChatGPT because this is fundamentally something that should massively accelerate your process. And really, if we go all the way down to the fourth point, less time on the bulk writing means you can spend more time reviewing the videos and assisting with B-roll collection, which is also what we see as part of this job. So if we're in the process right now of working on a video about James Dyson, the guy who invented the vacuum, all these other pieces, my writer researcher is going through old interviews that he's done, looking for those magical little moments, those little clips of him speaking that can support the writing that we're putting together. You can see how that would massively influence the quality of the video. And given that AI is wind at our back for the actual writing of the script, this is something that he now has time to do. We're looking for writing that it's a good blend of good copywriting and good storytelling. So it needs to have an arc. It needs to have that meta pattern. It also needs to be tight. We cannot be verbose. We cannot be wasting people's time. That will ruin our average view duration. And so we need someone who can write in a succinct, compelling style that moves. finally, diligent resource. We need to be able to cite more than 2 sources so that we are not telling lies on the internet. Our video editor, what we call the number one thing this editor needs to be is first edit aligned. And this is something that we have found you can identify in the interview process, but it needs to be continued to be checked back in on, which is when you submit footage to this video editor with whatever supporting resources, if it's a script, if it's notes, if it's a selfie video after you recorded the video saying, hey, John, I just recorded this video about James Dyson. I want you to be considerate of X, Y, and Z. Given all those inputs, given the actual raw files that they take in, how close is their first edit to your vision for that video as the visionary? They should be pretty darn tightly aligned consistently. If you're trying to go in a very serious, focused, intense tone, and they put whimsical music and goofy graphics on the screen, that's not first edit aligned. That can be a good edit. That can be a technically high quality edit, but they are not getting the tone and the message that you are trying to send with your videos. So we need to see first edit alignment in terms of them understanding what we're trying to do with the video that we're producing. They also need to be competent in collecting relevant B-roll because our researcher isn't going to be able to do all of that for them. They need to be efficient. They need to have the ability to track to deadlines. And when we say track to deadlines, we don't say hit deadlines. Great videos very often exceed their deadline, but a good editor understands, hey guys, I'm not going to hit the deadline. Here's why. Here's what I still have to do. It's probably going to be 2 days late. And that's okay. We can make that work because we are not trying to be a super rigid factory of content. We are trying to produce great videos, which have the greatest upside. A high quality video is the most high upside marketing thing you can do. So we need to be able to track those deadlines and communicate that well. It also helps them to be fluent in the nuances of different platforms, and they need to understand average view duration, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Finally, gets it once at capacity to do it, graphic designer. This is who's going to be creating the thumbnails for your YouTube videos. They need to study effective thumbnails. They need to be skilled in the Adobe suite. Canva is not enough. Canva is enough for your little social media posts, for your email newsletter. It is not enough to compete at the highest levels of YouTube thumbnails. It has to be done in Adobe. Hannah can disagree if she wants to, but I know she won't. That's where it gets done. They also need to be willing to iterate 10x or more on a single thumbnail design. So if someone's going to start rolling their eyes by the third time you give notes on them, that is not a graphic designer that you can continue to work with. Data. So as you know, we need to have a scorecard where we are tracking what we're doing week to week. These are what we track as an organization. We want to see how many leads were driven, and we are pretty diligent about having discrete and distinct links in addition to just asking leads that come in. How'd you see us? How'd you find out about us? When anyone cites a YouTube video, your video, something like that, that is really strong signal for us that we are driving quality leads with our videos. We like to track how many scripts got completed. There's a little bit of noise here because long form video scripts and short form vertical video scripts are very, very different deliverables. Sometimes we will break those out from a total completion standpoint, but that is basically the pre-production work that we need to actually be producing all of our videos on time. We see that as kind of the head of the snake, so to speak. Everything is downstream of that. Our average view duration is a number that tracks on average, and this is why YouTube's the best, what percentage of your video what is the average percentage of your video viewed by a viewer? So just because a video got a view doesn't mean that it was 100% viewed. Many people will drop off 30 seconds in, a minute and a half in, 3 minutes in. And what we're looking to do internally is to have videos hit a 40% average view duration on average. That's what we're tracking towards. You can see we're off track on that number specifically. We're also tracking our watch time in hours that is occurring on YouTube. That is a real number, 4,800 hours of watch time in the last 7 days from our channel. That's why YouTube is the best. That is transformative. I have y'all here. You're here for a little less than an hour. Think about that times 4,800. That's what's going on in our marketing passively, organically. I'm not paying for that distribution. That's why YouTube's the best. Capacity is basically tracking our video editors. Our video editors, because we're a video marketing company, also have clients to serve. So going into the week, if they're at 65% capacity, that means there's only 35% capacity left over for Piper's content. The clients come first, the clients are the priorities, but that helps us know, okay, are we going to need to hire another editor soon because our team is overburdened with the work that we're taking on? And finally, our click-through rate, 3.7, we're aiming for 4% right now. That is the percentage of people that see the title and the thumbnail of your video and decide to click on it to view. So right now, 3.5 people out of 100 see our video against all the other videos on YouTube, the Mr. Beast, all the crazy people, and they decide to click on ours. Hopefully we're not up against Mr. Beast too often, but that is a number that we're always trying to improve with the packaging of our videos. And that is really a reflection of the work our graphic designer is doing and our researchers, because our researcher will also look at competitive potential videos and cite their thumbnails and use that to inform our designs on future thumbnails. Processes. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. The 80-20 process documentation, some people call this SOPs. We call these playbooks. In this realm is we need to have a really good playbook for content publishing. There are a lot of nuances to publishing to YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, long-form YouTube videos, all this other stuff. Just because we prioritize YouTube, we still publish to other places. We're playing around with long-form video on Twitter/X right now to see how that's effective. We need to know who is in that seat, when is the best time to publish, and we need to be on time 100% with that process. So we need someone who's highly organized. Podcast production is one we get asked about all the time. A lot of our clients produce podcasts with us. This is a highly repeatable process. We need to be really tight on how the video editor hands off the audio to our audio engineer to master that sound, reconnect it to the video podcast they produce, get that published at the appropriate time. Content review. How do we review a video? How do we give feedback? There's a big difference between reviewing a video for its content versus reviewing it for its motions, graphics, and graphic design versus reviewing it for the captions that are burnt on and making sure that everything's spelled correctly. What are the elements of that? Deliverables from research. Okay, someone starts researching. What are they expected to be able to deliver in order to come up with an effective script? Those are some of the big SOPs that SOPs is what a lot of people call it. We call them playbooks that we have developed. And all of those are available to members of the Piper Video Guild. So that is our coaching group that I mentioned before. Our members have access to a whole library of trainings like this one. They also get access to our SOPs that we're using internally with our creative team. So that's why we're really excited about this coaching program, why it's had positive reviews so far. That's where we share that stuff. Traction, our rocks, our meetings. What do those look like? This is an example of a rock for a video editor on our team. And this is actually literally a rock, this Q4 for one of our editors. They are aiming to have 30% average average view duration on the long form videos that they produce. That is 100%, 30% average view duration. I said 40% is what we'd love to get to before, but every video is expected to be 30% average viewed at a minimum. That's challenging because they're not writing the script. And if we shoot something with a terrible script, they're in trouble. But hopefully, if you read 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, we've created a culture where they're comfortable saying, you've given me garbage. This is not usable. Go reshoot it. I cannot make, lemonade out of these lemons. 70% average percentage viewed on short form vertical video. So this is your TikTok style video, your YouTube short style video, your Instagram Reel, Facebook Reel style video. 70% is where those get really, really special. 60% should be an absolute minimum baseline. If you're below that, you really need to iterate on your content. We have a whole training for that in the Piper Video Guild. And then 1.1 average view per viewer. So what that means is a metric where basically we've all had the experience, hopefully, of going on YouTube and binging a piece of content, going and being like, wow, this person's great, or this channel is great. Let me see what else they got. And every time you watch a video and then that leads you to watch another video from the same creator, that is considered an additional view per viewer. So 1.1 means 1 out of every 10 viewers of ours goes and watches one more video. It's a little complex. YouTube needs to find a way to maybe simplify the communication of that, but we are highly fixated on that because that is a very strong indicator of viewer satisfaction. If they are satisfied with what they watch from you, they're going to want to see more. That is going to lead to a ton of good opportunities. Our meetings, we start with the reporting of those key metrics that I articulated. And then this isn't related to video marketing so much, but I just think this is a really important thing to do, and we report on this as well. we report on our newsletter subscribers. So we have a newsletter, elitevideo.marketing, if you want to look it up. And we are tracking our week over week subscriber ads. So we're starting with reporting on those key metrics, seeing how that's going. Then we go to our ClickUp progress, which is really kind of our project management, more like to-do list. And then finally, we move to just broader, issue resolution, as we're trained to do in EOS here, and resolve any sort of creative issues. Those can look like the click-through rate is too low. We released this video last week and it ain't working. Our click-through rate's 1.8%. We're trying to get to 3.5%, 4%, right? Is Susie in the right seat? Is she really the right person to be doing our writing and our research for us? Our leads are off track. We have no leads coming in. What's going on, folks? Should we hire international talent? Is that a way to potentially make our marketing budget go a little bit further with really talented people who can just help us accomplish more with less? And finally, why is this video script delayed? What's going on here? Where are we stuck? Can we do a rewrite? Can we get a fresh set of eyes on the script, do a brainstorming session, get something going so that we are not off track? Because like I said, the scripts are the head of the snake when it comes to our video production. So that is some of the issues we'll resolve. These are some of the reviews that our clients have given us working through this process together. A lot of these folks work with us on full production. Some of them also work with us just on editing. And Andrew is also in the Video Guild, happy founding member of the Video Guild. He was one of our first people to sign up. So we take a lot of pride in those happy clients. It's the reason we're a leader in Google reviews for video production in the city of Pittsburgh. And it is why we continue to obsess over solving video problems for our clients. If you want more free insights from us, please go sign up to our newsletter. EliteVideo.marketing is the URL. That comes out every Friday. Fresh ideas, fresh insights will absolutely level up your video marketing game. And if you thought this call was really valuable and you want more like it, you should go sign up at pipervideoguild.com. Can I speak to general costs? The guild is at $250 a month. We have, I think it's like 4 spots left at that number. And we basically do something where every few folks that come in, we raise the price. And that's reflective of our library is expanding because we're doing these weekly trainings. So that'll jump to 300, 350, 400 in time. That's our kind of lowest end. That's for the DIYers, right? Editing can be anywhere. Our base packages are $2, $4, and $8 a month. And those are for people looking for 5 to 20 working days of video editing on a monthly basis. Now, the cool thing about that is it rolls over. So if you bought 10 working days and this month you use 7, you don't need to rush at the end of the month and push us some like BS crappy video to like use up your last 3 days. Those days will roll over and you'll be able to use those in the subsequent month. So that's a kind of more empathetic model than some of the other video editing firms out there. And then live production is so variable. We have folks where it's like a one-off video and it's, $2-3 grand. And we literally have someone who it's $65,000 like multi-day shoot for, I don't know, we're probably producing 90 videos for them or something like that. But if you want to understand us as a video production firm, as I cited that we have more reviews than any of the other ones in town, there are some other folks, I'm not going to name them by name. They're really expensive. And there's 2 reasons they're really expensive. One is they're selling to like Dollar Bank. And Dollar Bank needs some crazy TV spot. Like that's not us. If you want a crazy TV spot, I'm happy to recommend you to someone like Covalent. I said I wasn't going to name them, but they're our friends. So we recommend them for that specific use case. There's other folks that they just have a ton of fixed costs. They have a crazy expensive studio. They're downtown. They have, a obnoxious sales guy, and they're just going to try to sell these really high ticket items to people because that's their whole model. And we don't find that serves SMBs and mid-sized businesses particularly well. It's a really sexy thing to sell, but it is not the most practically applicable thing. For the same budget, and I've seen the prices that they quote, they're absurd. You'd hire us, we'd produce 40 videos. We'd produce a year's worth of YouTube videos for the same price, and you would get a weekly publishing cadence. You'd have then something to talk about in your newsletter, in your other social media posts, because you can refer to this publishing cadence that you're on. And you get the data of publishing 52 videos, seeing, okay, we're not expecting all 52 to work. These 13 aren't relevant. These 20 are okay. These 12, working, ripping, banging. Let's double down on the opening hooks that work there, on the style, on the, maybe we use different speakers. We get this insight about our content that then next year, when we come with our next marketing budget, is going to be we're going to be really informed in its application. And we're not having someone pitch some goofy, crazy idea, charging us $30,000 for one video. It enrages me that happens to small and medium-sized businesses. You want to go do that to the big corporates? Be my guest. That's not our vivid vision. Our vivid vision is to grow SMBs and mid-sized businesses in the region and nationally with relevant videos. YouTube Shorts, the Reels, the TikToks. This is what is transforming businesses, particularly of this size. And there is a much more thoughtful, strategic, tactical way to do it. And if you got a client that you want us to look at or work with or talk about, we're like I said, happy to take those calls. We don't charge for our time in that kind of fact-finding discovery phase. Just looking to do some cool videos. Thank you so much for listening, for watching.